Hello, I'm Beth Wagner, physical therapist. I'm excited to bring you this new video series intended to enhance your understanding of your vestibular condition and to provide information to support the work you're doing with your healthcare provider and vestibular therapist. If you've already started vestibular rehabilitation, you've likely been introduced to VOR exercises and gaze stabilization. But you may still be wondering what these terms mean and what these exercises are all about. In this video, I'm going to define VOR and gaze stabilization, demonstrate a common exercise, and I'll wrap up with some helpful resources where you can find additional information. Now, first thing is, what is VOR? VOR stands for Vestibulo-Ocular Reflex. As a reflex, it's something we do without even thinking about, and VOR is one of the fastest reflexes in the body. This reflex is very important for vision. It keeps your eyes focused on a target while you move your head or while you are moving your body in space. As an example, when we walk, our head moves up and down slightly with each step. Yet our vision remains clear and the world stays stable around us. When we walk while holding a video camera, the video jumps up and down with each step we take. Now, the reason that we don't see the world jump up and down when we walk is due to our vestibular-ocular reflex, or VOR, because it acts as our internal video stabilization. Now, how does the vestibulo-ocular reflex work? The VOR is a very fast communication loop between our brain and our eyes. When we look at a stationary object and turn our head, a signal from our brain tells our eyes to move at the exact same speed, but in the opposite direction, so that the image we're looking at stays stable, and the movement of our head doesn't shake or move the object that we're looking at. So when my head moves to the left, like that, and I want to stay focused on the camera, my eyes move to the right at the exact same speed. So you can see here as an example, as I turn my head quickly, side to side, my eyes stay focused right on the camera because they're moving in the opposite direction, but at the same speed. Sometimes when the vestibular system is not working properly due to any number of vestibular conditions, the VOR is affected, which causes blurry vision, because we lose that ability to maintain clear focus on an object when our heads move. Exercises to restore the VOR are a key component to vestibular rehabilitation, and the most common exercise prescribed is gaze stabilization. The purpose of the exercise is to help restore our body's natural ability to hold an image clear and stable when our head moves. By practicing specific eye and head movements that activate and challenge the VOR, we're strengthening our brain and our eye muscles and the communication pathways that connect them. Okay, so here's an example of a gaze stabilization exercise. Now, I already showed you a little bit of what the VOR does in terms of moving my head side to side and allowing me to maintain clear focus right in the camera lens. So the gaze stabilization exercises essentially mimic that motion. Now, there might be several different ways that a vestibular therapist has instructed you to do this. Let me just show you one example that I can clearly demonstrate with the camera. Now, starting with tall posture, I'm going to lift my finger out right in front of me here. So it's between me and the camera lens so that you can see that clearly. I'm going to focus my eyes right on my finger, and now I'm going to move my head side to side about 20 degrees. I'm starting out at a slow pace to begin with. With practice, with repetition, I want to increase the speed of my head movement as much as I can tolerate without letting the image of my finger blur. If my finger starts to blur, then I'm moving too fast and I would need to slow down. Now, that would be with a horizontal head turn. We can also perform the gaze stabilization with vertical head movement. So a head nod, up and down, again about 20 degrees. And you'll notice how my eyes are staying focused on my finger while my head is moving. So that's an example of a gaze stabilization exercise as part of VOR, vestibulo-ocular reflex exercises, which are part of vestibular rehabilitation. Now, you may have other questions about your vestibular rehabilitation, and I've tried to answer some of the more common questions in several other videos. Those topics include why vestibular rehabilitation takes the amount of time, the length of time that it takes, and why vestibular rehab exercises tend to make you feel worse temporarily while you're doing them. So check out the links to those videos in the description down below if those are some questions that you have while you're undergoing vestibular rehabilitation. Also, on my YouTube channel called Movement and Function, I've included a whole playlist of vestibular rehabilitation videos. I've started with beginner-level vestibular rehabilitation and progressed those exercises through an advanced level. I've also posted videos on specific diagnoses within vestibular rehabilitation. The link to those videos is also included in the description down below. Also, on VITA's website, there's an excellent article about vision challenges associated with vestibular conditions and ways to address them. The link to that article is also included in the description below. Also, if you're looking for individualized evaluation and treatment of your symptoms, check out VITA's provider directory, which includes a whole host of specialists in a variety of fields of medicine. I hope you found this video helpful to better understand VOR exercises and gaze stabilization specifically. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to VITA's channel. Thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful day.